Hello everybody, welcome, good afternoon, welcome to the University of York and to the York Graduate Research School Induction. My name's Megan McLaughlin and I'm head of the Building Research and Innovation Capacity team here at York. We're better known around campus as the BRIC team, and we're here to support your professional development as researchers at the university. So we very much hope we'll come into contact with you quite a lot over the next few years. A little bit of housekeeping, of course, with every kind of event that we have. Just to say there isn't a fire alarm planned for today, so if you hear the alarms go off, there are 4 exits in the room, 2 at the back, 2 down the front, and you obviously need to follow the signs and the instructions to go out the front and to gather. I'm just going to give you a little overview of what we're going to do today. So in just a moment I'm going to hand over to Matthias Ruth, our Pro Vice-Chancellor for Research, to give you a proper welcome to the university, and he's going to talk a little bit about what it means to be a postgraduate researcher at York. Then my colleague Dr. Dominica Butler is going to take over, and she's going to talk you through some essentials for being a postgraduate researcher and getting started in your research at York. We're then going to introduce you to all the other teams who support you in your research. You can hear a little bit from them, and then hopefully you can get a chance to meet them afterwards and ask any questions you have at our networking session afterwards. We're then going to hear from some current postgraduate researchers who are going to tell us a little bit about their experience and hopefully pass on some useful tips about being a postgraduate researcher. Then we have our refreshments, so you can get a chance to have a chat with each other and meet some people, and as I said, also to meet some of the teams that we're going to be hearing from during this session. And afterwards, there is also a wine and cheese reception for all new postgraduates in Wentworth College, and we'll be kind of signposting you to head over there if you'd like to do so. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Professor Matthias Ruth, Pro Vice-Chancellor for Research, who's going to give you a proper lovely welcome to the university.
A proper welcome. Well, here's the proper welcome. I'm super excited to see so many of you, and I just reminded of the fact when you're in a sports event, for example, or a theater performance, and tickets are sold, the cheap ones are typically in the back. We didn't sell tickets, and yet there are so many of you back there. Got to make it a practice to come further to the front where the action is. So I would want to, not now obviously, but would want to invite you in that sort of a general theme. Be at the front, be where the action is, be where the people are, engaged with them, and make sure that you're seen, heard, and that also your interests and concerns are heard. And much of the role of the graduate school is really to make sure that that happens. So you'll be joining a group of about 1,500 postgraduate researchers here at York. And I like to think of you, through my position that I have at the university, overseeing the research arm of the university as Pro Vice-Chancellor for Research, I like to think of you as an integral part of delivering on our research mission at the university, which is actually part of a much larger vision and mission for the university, which through its strategic plan we articulate as a university that's there for public good. And the term public good means different things to different people, but very importantly it articulates that there is a bit of a social agenda behind this, an agenda of make a difference out there in the world for the people, for the planet, for our economy, for our society, and so on. But at the same time, I also know that many of you are particularly interested in fundamental research, in the things that may not necessarily at this point in time have any particular application to, quote unquote, the real world. And that's super important too. It is important in part because that's where a lot of creativity and intellectual engagement happens, where a lot of new ground gets broken, where new lots of insights are being generated that then at some point or another down the road may or may not, but in many cases will, have an impact on the way in which we shape the world around us. So many of the fundamental science, fundamental research, lots of the creativity that's happening today helps us inform on how to solve problems and how to enrich life for people around the world, not just here in Europe, but around the world through the many partnerships and the networks within which we're engaged. So the university research strategy then articulates this in a little bit more detail, and particularly focuses on what it means to deliver cutting-edge, frontier research, to do this in a way that sets you, the groups within which you work, that sets the university apart. And on that note, I just want to say that when you ever have a spare moment and are so inclined to look into the University of Research strategy, you will find that it leads by talking about the importance of people. You, the mentors around you, the support staff around you, basically the entire community. If we don't get the community piece right behind the research agenda, then we shortchange ourselves in many ways. At York, we are privileged to lead on 2 nationally recognized and now increasingly internationally recognized initiatives, and they are listed here as RSVP. So it's a project that talks about the research supervision, the way in which we help you thrive in your careers and your personal and professional development. It's a funded research project. It's a network of other universities, but also of partners in the public sector, in the private sector, and elsewhere. Drawing on best practices, building best practices, and making sure that those are emulated across the sector so that they benefit you and everyone else in the cohorts around you. And then another one is the Y-Seed project, which is focused on creating a much more open environment to individuals with different backgrounds from the ones that we typically see at a university setting. So it's opening the doors to people with different lived experiences, with different backgrounds, with different ambitions, different ways of looking at the world. That diversity of viewpoints and then a much stronger engagement of mentors in all of this, those together really are to some extent the backbone of the way in which we deliver your experience while you're here at the University of York. It also, having engaged in these activities for quite a while, meant that the university has now achieved a really high standard for the research that's conducted. So we are in the top 10 for the so-called Research Excellence Framework, so it's a periodic assessment of how great universities are in delivering cutting-edge knowledge and sharing that knowledge with the rest of the world. So we're in the top 10 there. There's another one that's called the Teaching Excellence Framework, TEF, and we are one of the few universities that received the highest ranking there, gold. There are only 4 universities in the UK that are top 10 on REF and receive gold in TEF. And York is one of them, so I want to welcome you to that kind of environment. And again, it comes back to people like you who are engaged, who are making sure that their voices are heard, who make sure that the institution continues to improve what it does, that are at the core of much of the work, of much of the research that we're doing. With that, I just have a more personal note of what your experience may look like while you're here. And many of you may find yourselves in research labs, working day, night, weekends on the next experiment. Some of you may find yourself more in the library or in the archives or in a performing studio or wherever it is. There's a tendency to go to the places where you're most comfortable, where most of your work will happen, where your peers are. The university is much larger than any single lab, much larger than the libraries, much larger than the performance studio. I would love to see you break out of that comfort zone, take full advantage of what a university of this caliber and this diversity has to offer. That's part of your personal and professional journey as well, not just what happens in the research itself, but become a part of the community, become part of a network of individuals. You'll never know what new spark of idea you'll pick up, what new network or connection you make that will last you for the rest of your personal and professional life. Take full advantage of this. And what we want to do here today with you, and the team will lead you through this, is make sure that at least some of the basics on how to reach out, how to know what resources are available in that personal and professional journey, that you know about that you know the people to go to, that you know the rights and responsibilities that you have in your new roles here at the University of York, and to all help you and all help us together to become as good at what we want to do as we can be. With that, a warm, proper, hopefully, welcome to all of you, and I hope that over the course of your time here, I'll get a chance to meet you individually at one point or another. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Matthias. So, are we ready for this? My name is Dominika Butler, and I'm from the BRIC team, just like Megan is. My role is a researcher developer, and as a PGR lead in BRIC team, I'm the person who's going to look after your professional development throughout your time at York, to make sure that at the very end, you are become an excellent researcher. So, I can imagine you have been exposed to quite a lot of different information sources. It might have been your department that you have already have in the induction at. It could have been your supervisor who's given you a lot of stuff to look at. Am I right? Yeah, I can see some nods. Who remembers what they said? Oh, nobody. Thought so. Well, let me give you some pointers, because when you feel a little bit lost, especially at the very beginning, when there's so much stuff to remember, so much stuff to do, well, there is one place that you can look at and hopefully give yourself a little bit more of pointers where you should go right now. One of them is YGR's website. So, YGR's website, let me show you how it works. If you go to YGR's website, which is the York Graduate Research School website, you'll see there's a lot of information. But you are a new PGR, right? So go here, new PGR tab, and when you open this, you'll notice there's quite a few things that you can just give yourself a quick reminder about. Getting started, there's few checklists that you have probably already fulfilled, like getting your IT account, getting your email access, all of that. You've done this. Tick. Induction event. Well, you're just attending. Tick. However, there's more to your development and to your start than just that. And I would like to draw your attention to your first year section of the website. Do you see? There's a couple of things that you must complete. And I don't want to scare you. This is not about that. This is about a reminder. There are a couple of tutorials that we expect you to complete. One of them being an effective researcher tutorial. It's designed by me. Ooh, why did I say that? And then research integrity tutorial. That's also one that you really need to complete soon. But there's other things that you need to do. The two listed here are filling in the questionnaire, which is about expectations in research supervision. There's quite a few questions for you to answer and for your supervisor to answer as well, but ideally without conferring. And then afterwards, you have a conversation, what your expectations are, and do you meet in the right place on those. This professional development plan that I would really encourage you to get drafting. There are a few tools that you can use to help you to identify what skills have you already got and which skills are really not that greatly developed. And that's how you create your plan for development, because once you know that maybe you're not great at writing, then you can look up the training program and think, oh, what can I attend? How can I make this better? How can I make myself a better at writing, better researcher at writing? So, think about what your needs are and create your plan. Anyways, what I would really like to encourage you this afternoon is take 15 minutes of homework and have a look at the website and make sure that you explore what else is there, because you will notice there's quite a few different things that you might be interested in and knowing for the future where you can find them. Let's go back into this bit. So, I would also like to say that within our prep for you, we have prepared a really nice slide deck. Not saying nice because of the pictures, there's no pictures, sorry to disappoint. Guide to support, and these are blue slides. And just like a blueprint for a house, it's something to get you directions in. And each of the team that you will meet very shortly has put together a lot of information about them, what it is that they do, and how they can support you. But I'm not going to bore you with those slides just now. Don't make notes. We're going to share them afterwards with you. But the important thing is that you know they're here. And when we share the slides with you, you can always look up which team that you have to contact about your IT account or if something goes wrong. Okay. If in doubt and you don't remember where to find things, all you need to do is email YGRS. I'm sure James is going to be happy about that. Right, so one thing to mention that you really, really need to be aware of. Our university uses Google a lot, and I mean a lot. If you haven't discovered that yet, you will soon. And the way that we share different things with you is quite often via Google Docs or spreadsheets, and to make sure you access them, you need to remember to sign into your Chrome browser with your university email account. If you don't, you will have no access. So before you press that request access button, just double check whether you're not signed in with your generic Gmail account. Fix that and you'll be fine. Okay. How will you hear about opportunities, about professional development opportunities, events, anything that happens at the university that you can get yourself involved in? Well, there's YGRS newsletter, and that's going to be landing in your inbox quite frequently. Don't ignore it, read it, thank you. We also have YGRS blog, which is all about Postgraduate Researchers community. Anything that happens that you could potentially get yourself involved in, you can find it there, so have a look there. And there's a person in your department called Graduate Researcher Administrator, or Research Administrator. Make sure that you listen to what they say to you, and if they email you, you read that email twice. And if they ask you to do something, you do it. Make sure you do. They usually mean well. And if you are on social media, and in particular on LinkedIn, you can follow my team, YGRS team, and YSEED team. And this is where we actually talk about new events or something that's just come up that might not be on the general program just yet. So if you want to be ahead, follow us, please. And I'm going to keep that slide for just a second so you get a chance of getting that QR code. And then as soon as you're all done, are we all done? I can see a few more people with the QR codes scanning. Remember, you'll get the slides later too. I'm going to introduce my colleague, Stuart Barker, who is here. He's our administrator from the team, and he's going to tell you about how you can find professional development opportunities and sign up to workshops and trainings and events. Thank you, Stuart.
Hello, everyone. This is weird. I don't like being able to hear myself. So, as Dominica said, I'm Stuart. I'm the admin and comms manager for the BRIC team. If you email Building Research and Innovation Capacity, BRIC, there's a 99% chance that it will be me that's emailing you or replying to you. So, hi. I'm going to talk to you about how to find out about professional development opportunities. There's two main ways where you can yourself look for things. First and foremost, there is the York Graduate Research School website, which Dominica showed you before. You can click on the link in the slides or scan the QR code. This will take you through to this webpage here, which says Research and Development, and then if you scroll down that page, you will see the key professional development themes. So this is basically how we've organised our training for you. So each one of those is a drop-down. You could just click that, and there'll be links to every session that's available to you. They'll take you straight to the booking platform. On that same page, there is also a link to our brand new research and development programme. This is a 60-page PDF, which gives a bit more information about all of the workshops that you could attend either online or in person, as well as opportunities, online resources, and this will be updated through the year, so please do go back and check it on a regular basis. This is just what the inside of the PDF looks like. So there is a directory. You can click on all of the course titles and it will take you straight through to the page. This is just an example of what each page will look like. It tells you at the bottom what section it's in, and then it has all the information you should need to make a decision about whether this is the right course for you to do. A little bit of housekeeping, seeing as I am the team admin, and there's some things that will make your life easier and will ultimately make my life easier. It's not, I'm just prioritising myself, really. You book all of your training via SkillsForge. That is the Our booking platform, it's an external website, but all of the links on the website and in the PDF will all take you through to SkillsForge. That's where you book your training. This next one is important. Bookings close 2 working days before the session takes place. If you've got a session on a Monday, then it will close on the previous Thursday. However, if bookings have closed and you still really want to attend a session, please email us, brick@york.ac.uk, because places may still be available. It's just for admin reasons we have to close it at some point so that we can start to organise things. If for some reason that you can't attend, we understand that life happens, please do let us know as soon as. It doesn't have to be before the session. You can let us know afterwards. It's just, again, helps for admin reasons. You will be sent a joining instructions email, so this will come through usually from the BRIC team. Occasionally it may come from one of the email addresses of one of our colleagues if they run the session. You'll receive this 1 to 2 working days, and it will include basically everything you need to attend the session. We have a combined attendance and feedback form, so it's really straightforward. It's the same form to do attendance and feedback for every workshop you will attend with us. Please complete this promptly. It basically means that I and the team can help keep your SkillsForce training record up to date. Those records will be updated 1 to 2 weeks usually. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer. If it has gone past 2 weeks, do feel free to email us just to double check. We run sessions, we run workshops from October till June, and the programme for next year, so for this time next year, the programme for then will be organised next summer. And finally, our sessions, whether they are online, whether they are on campus, are interactive. We have a nice, friendly, collegiate atmosphere, so please come ready to interact with people, ready to interact with ideas and different ways of thinking, and that will just help make the sessions nicer for everyone. And finally from me, we've extended Induction, and next week we've got a series of 5 introductory workshops. Each of these is a hyperlink, so please, when you receive these slides, go through, click, book on them. The Getting Started with Your Research degree is on Monday, so you will need to book on that as soon as possible. But we would love to see as many of you as possible at these sessions, and these will give you a kind of taste of what our workshops are like and kind of give you a good start. I'll hand back to Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Right, that was a lot of information, wasn't it? But don't worry, you'll get the slide this afternoon. And in anticipation for this, I'm going to introduce you to our professional support staff, and you'll see who we've got in the room with us today. Because like I mentioned to you before, you are not alone. You are going to be supported during your journey of your research degree, and please use that support wisely. We are here to help you. So, we've got quite a few people in the room, but I would like to start with a couple of presentations just because your well-being really matters to us at York. We want to make sure that throughout your journey you are well supported, that you know who to contact when things go wrong and when you have some doubts about life. So, just to make sure that we've got you set up nice and wisely, we've got Joe Hardy from Open Door team. Thank you, Joe.
Good afternoon. I'm going to quote Stuart, actually, at this point, because we're talking a lot about you as researchers, but if I may quote you, life happens. And as Dominica has said, we are here to support you not just through the research, but through living in York while you're doing all your studies and your research. So I am here to represent the Open Door and Student Wellbeing team. Within your departments, there will be a student wellbeing officer. They are so friendly. Can I just say they're a nice bunch of people, and the great thing about them is they are fantastic at listening. So if you hit a bump in the road, please feel free to find your student wellbeing officer within the department, and they will be able to offer you that listening ear. The great thing about them is they also understand the university, and they can help you navigate to, whatever help and support you might need. So I think a little bit of, if I may add 1 minute to the 15 minutes of homework, it's finding out within your department who your student wellbeing officer is. Now, there are times, life happens, quoting Stuart once again, where you might need something a little more than that. And so we have a service called the Open Door Team. And the Open Door Team is a team of mental health practitioners. But the most important things really to know about that is you can refer yourself through to the Open Door Team, so you don't have to go through any particular barriers to find them. The service is free, the service is on campus, and the service is confidential. That will be discussed with you on the first appointment that you have with a practitioner. And it is a non-judgmental space. It is a safe space for you to talk about how things are with you at any particular point. I know it can be really difficult sometimes coming forward, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed and things are getting on top of you. But I really would encourage you to reach out at that point. Throughout the year, throughout the academic year, we will be reminding people how to do this. But we are fundamentally there to help you and support you in any of the challenges that you might be facing. Please do reach out. Please don't be embarrassed to do so. It's a non-judgmental service and it's confidential. So, I hope that's given you enough information for that. I shall now hand back to Dominica. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jo. Remember, guys, that your supervisor is not going to be informed if you needed to reach out and talk to services we're talking about right now. So it is important that you remember this and don't feel stopped because of that, okay? So, next person, we've got Claire Wilkinson, who's going to talk about disability services that are available to you.
Thank you. This is a little bit daunting. I was expecting a small seminar room and not a lecture theatre, so there you go. So, as Dominica said, so my name is Claire Wilkinson and I manage the disability service here at York. And there may be some of you that are sitting here having previously disclosed a disability either at your studies at York or at another university. Nothing automatically transfers over, so you need to kind of start from the very beginning. And we do understand with research students that the needs are very, very different to our undergraduate and postgraduate taught students. So in terms of thinking about disabilities, if maybe you've never accessed support before, the range of disabilities is really, really broad, and I've only just listed a few there for you. So a disability is something that has a long-term impact. So it could be a long-term health condition, it could be a physical disability, you could be neurodivergent, you could have ADHD or autism, you could have a specific learning difficulty like dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia. There are a whole range of disabilities that we obviously we do support. If you're not sure, you can just contact us and have a conversation with us and we can advise you. Now, I've included, as a few of us have, a QR code there, and I'm really hoping it's not my Amazon shopping list. So if anybody could just maybe just check it, I'm sure it is right. But that is a link to our registration form. So on our Accessing Support page, we've got an online registration form for you to complete. If you have any evidence at all, so that could be a psychological report, it could be medical evidence, it could be copies of your medical notes that you can upload with your registration, you'll then be allocated to a disability practitioner and they'll then contact you directly and look at arranging a meeting. We do try and meet with all of our PhD students if we can, because we do understand that the needs are very different depending on the area of research where you are, where you're based, whether you're in a lab or you're not in a lab. So do contact us. Now, if you've been at university and received support before, you may know about Disabled Students Allowance, which is a grant that is given to students. For research students, it can be very different. The process can be very different. So we do have information on our webpage, but we do administer through the university anybody who's research council funded. So anybody who isn't Research Council funded, it's usually through Student Finance England or other funding body. But we can advise you about that. And there is further information about Disabled Students Allowance on our webpage, as it may give you some idea of the types and range of support that we can offer. But do contact us if there's any queries that you do have. Okay. And I wish you all the best with your research career at York. Okay.
Thank you very much, Claire. Right, so the time has come for me to introduce you to our professional support teams, and we have quite a few people in the room, and I would like to invite them to the front to introduce their teams and what they do for you. So could I please have Martin from Open Research team in the library, Tom Blake from Open Research, Shibon from DISC team, I can never read the whole thing, Phil Harrison, please, Claire Anderson, Rich Andrew, and Chelsea Groby, Janice, Maeve, and Rajman. Thank you. Right. Oh, you're getting yourself in order. Fantastic. Look at this. So, are you? That's fine. That's all fine. Well, everybody will introduce themselves and say which team they're from and what they can do for you. So you don't have to remember all the details, but they have been briefed to say not too much for you not to take too much of a message out. So I'm going to start with Martin, who is right here, and then we'll see.
Okay, hello everyone. So my name's Martin Phillip. I'm faculty librarian for social sciences, and I'm one of a team of faculty librarians. So it's our job to really support you, help you make the most of the library, whether it's the physical resources and working with the archive or the digital resources as well. So we invest a huge amount in kind of journal subscriptions, ebooks and other databases with all sorts of data on there. So yeah, please have a look at the slides that you'll get afterwards. The library website has recently been redesigned over the last year or so, so hopefully it's reasonably intuitive to use. But yeah, more than happy to get in touch with us. We can meet with every single one of you. We can have appointments and we can go through the resources in much more detail so that you can get a good handle on it and hopefully maximise the resources to your for your research. So yeah, that's me. I'm one of the faculty librarians. Who's next?
I think that's me. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Blake. I'm the Open Research Manager. I'm also based in the library here. So the University of York has signed up to the Principles of Open Research, supports the Principles of Open Research and encourages all of our researchers to embed open research principles in their work, including you as PGRs. And my team is really here to help you to do that. So open research is a set of practices, a set of principles that are designed to embed things like accessibility, reproducibility, reusability and transparency really in the whole research process. And that can help in terms of improving the visibility and the reach of your research and also research integrity. So what that means in practice, the sorts of things we can help you with are a lot of you, for example, at some point you'll be asked to put together a research data management plan, if you've not been already, which is a plan that will help you to think about the sort of data that you're going to create within your research, to collect and to use in your research. And there'll be a plan on how you're going to use that, how you're going to store it responsibly, how you can maybe share it. What we can do in our team is help you to put together that plan and to put it into practice. A lot of you may be using third-party materials in your work. Say, for example, you've got images that you want to use in a thesis. You're going to have to start thinking about things like copyright and licensing and how to share that work. Again, we can help on that. And at some point further down the line, a lot of you will be starting to think about publishing and how to publish your work. We can help with things like finding venues for publishing, thinking through where the best place is to put your work, and thinking through things like publishing agreements, publishing contracts, and really importantly, how you can publish your work in a way that is as open and as visible as possible to really kind of extend the reach and maximise the reach of that research. So it's that sort of thing that we deal with. There's a lot more to it than that. If you go on our website, I would recommend our Open Research Skills Guide, which will tell you all the different sorts of things that we work with. So have a look, see if any of it resonates with you. And it also says in there how to get in touch with us, how to make an appointment with us, and come along to our introductory session on the 11th as well. So, thank you.
Siobhan.
Thank you. Hello, my name's Siobhan. I work in the Digital Inclusion, Skills and Creativity team in the library, and we're responsible for the digital skills of everyone at the university, including you. So we run a huge range of training. Some of it is on skills forging that's specific for postgraduate researchers. We are running the Introduction to Generative AI Tools session next week, if you want to come to that. Or we run sessions about things like in vivo, EndNote, using Word for your thesis, spreadsheets, coding, all sorts of stuff like that. We also have a lot of online guides on those topics and self-paced things you can work through. And we also have 2 digital labs in the library. One space is the Creativity Lab, where you can get involved with emerging digital technologies like VR, 360 filmmaking, podcasting, video editing, all sorts of things like that, 3D scanning. And we run workshops, we've got facilities for you, all sorts of things like that you can get involved with. You can also just drop in and use the space in the library. We're on the first floor of the Fairhurst. And then we've also got Your Create, which is our makerspace. We've got 3D printing and all sorts of stuff like that. So a great way to think about communicating your research or just doing something fun alongside what you're doing. But come and see our stand outside. We've got some 3D prints. I'll give you a plastic goose if you're quick.
You have to be quick. Phil.
Hi, I'm Phil Harrison and I'm here representing Research IT and Faculty IT. So we're 2 teams within Central IT Services, and we're kind of specifically geared up to looking after bits of IT that can help you with your research. So we do things like look after Viking, our supercomputer, which lives over in Sweden. So if you've got some code that's running a bit slowly on your laptop or huge data sets you need to process, then you can use Viking to do that, so come and talk to us about that. We also help out across all faculties, all departments at the university, so not just kind of traditional computational research. We can help you get a bit of code running that you might have found online or that some other researchers in your field are using that you're really struggling with. We can also help out with some of the data management side of things, the different options of where you can store your data. And we also, some of our team help run something called the Research Coding Club, where we also run some training sessions, things like version control and making mobile apps, Python coding, R coding. And we also have regular drop-in sessions. So if you want to come along with your coding problems, talk to about any issues you're having, then that's also available. We've also got a shiny new website, which hopefully we've got all the right information on there, so have a look at that. The link's on the slide, and I'm going to be outside after this, so happy to talk to anyone if you've got any questions.
Hi everyone. I don't know if this is on. Yeah, okay. I'm quite loud anyway, so you should be able to hear me. My name's Claire. I am the Wentworth Graduate College Manager. If you don't know what a college is, don't worry. If you don't know which college you're in, again, don't worry. If you're a postgraduate researcher, you're likely a Wentworth member. They're not residential. It's for all PGRs, for all students. You are a member of a college. Essentially, we are designed to be a smaller community within the university that helps you connect to that wider community, whether that's through our managed events like college sport or music, or through smaller college events like social events like some of you will be at the Wine and Cheese later, hopefully, and little events that we do inside the college itself. If you have any questions about colleges, you'll find me outside in about 10 minutes, or I will see some of you tonight at the Wine and Cheese. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, nice to see you. I'm Chelsea, this is Chloe and Rich. We're from your Students' Union. Just a quick little bit about us, because we could be here for hours. We basically provide a number of services: sports, societies, advice, academic representation, elections, anything you could probably think of, we've got it. So what we wanted to do was just give you a really quick overview of how that works, and then I'm sure you'll see the slide afterwards for contact details later on. So at the minute we've got an election running, we've got some specific researcher rep roles which are paid, and we've also got some networks for you to join as well that are just for PhD students. So if you want a space away from the rest of the hustle bustle of campus, that's where you can find them. Yeah.
We also have various PhD, PGR rep roles available within specific departments. A lot of that is being done through the department itself, so if you are interested, do get in touch with the key staff that you're working with. If you don't put yourself forward to be a rep, I think it's really important that you still communicate with your rep, because we know that each of you have such a unique experience, and it's so important that that is fed into the various meetings and committees that take place within your department, and the rep and you communicating with them is the way that happens. So do get involved with the academic representation system so that your voice is being heard within your department. So yeah.
Hi there, my name's Rich, and I manage our advice service at the Students' Union. So what perhaps makes us distinct from other services that you've heard from today is our independence from the university. So the type of thing that we would commonly advise and support students on is where they're having to maybe navigate their way through various university policies and procedures. So that can be from an academic point of view or other types of issues. And that's where our independence is hopefully helpful for the student that comes to us. So it's all the types of things that you may never need to encounter, but hopefully helpful to be aware of. So things like challenging academic decisions if your studies maybe haven't gone to plan, if you're having to otherwise engage with a university policy or process. So the types of things might be, for example, academic appeals, complaints, raising issues about your experience at York, things like academic misconduct. So like I say, all the kind of stuff that hopefully you won't need to encounter, but if you do, we just wanted to let you know there is an independent source of advice and support on those types of issues. Also in terms of the independence, if ever you don't know who to talk to about a particular issue or you don't want to speak to someone in your department, you can come to us. If it's something that we can't help with directly, we can make sure that we direct you to the right place. And finally, just to end on a bit more of a positive thing on the Students' Union as well, the other thing just to make you all aware of is all the clubs and societies that we've got at the Students' Union. So they're student-led. We've got well over 200 clubs and societies that are run by students but supported by the Students' Union. So hopefully there will be things that you'll be interested in which you can find on our website as well. You can also find information about our advice service on the website. Drop us an email if there's something that you think we can help with.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm from the Central Careers and Placements team. So we're here to support you with your career planning and career management right through from the beginning of your PhD to the end and beyond. We don't have a time limit on career support after graduation either. That means everything from careers information. So we have a central careers website, but on the YGRS website that you've heard about already, we also have some careers resources which are more specifically tailored to you as researchers. So please have a look at those when you're on the YGRS site. At this point, one of the things you might be interested in is part-time work or sort of part-time internships. So we advertise a lot of those. We advertise on-campus opportunities as well, so depending on what you're looking for. We use an interactive part of our website called Handshake. Has anybody come across Handshake yet? Good. Okay. I would say that's one of the first things to do is just go into Handshake, update your profile. When you've done that, you'll be able to see job opportunities, you'll be able to see all of our events being advertised, and if you need to book a careers appointment, you would do it through Handshake. I also run some sessions specifically researchers, again, through that researcher development programme. If you're an international student, again, have a look in Handshake. We run a number of events specifically for international students. So we're not just here for you at the end of your PhD. Please use us throughout. We have a lot of opportunities for developing skills and experience.
Hello, so a slight change of angle now. How many of you are hoping to or intending to teach while you're here? This gets more and more each year. It's a great thing to do while you're undertaking your research and to get that extra experience, especially if your hope is to go into academia fully. The very first thing you have to do, even before you get a teaching role, is attend mandatory training. It's equivalent to about 6 hours, half online and half in person. And that's called Introduction to Teaching and Learning. You will be meeting my colleague who runs that, who was supposed to be here today, Helen Alchalik, or perhaps another colleague, Jiao Yue Chen, runs it as well with her. Once you've got that under your belt, if you do need to secure work, do you know how to go about it? No? Every department has a GTA coordinator, I should say graduate teaching assistant, GTA. They are your point of contact to find out about securing work and what the process is for hiring people in your department. The YGRS pages also do signpost you to other opportunities which are also advertised in Handshake, which has already been mentioned. Should you become more ambitious about your teaching and find out you've got a real love for it, as happens to many of us, you also have an opportunity to secure transferable professional recognition as an associate fellow of the HEA through our accredited scheme. So that basically it's a nationally and increasingly internationally recognised award or benchmark for professional standards for teaching in university. You will, from the link on the slides that Dominique is sharing with you, you're going to have access to a GTA community site in the virtual learning environment system we have here, the VLE. That will give you all of this information, links out, and we are in the process of developing additional in-role training. So while you're teaching that you can, it's kind of a weird thing. You do training before you teach, and it's a bit like, no, it's all going to be fine. And then you go teach, and all these things happen unexpectedly because it's interpersonal, it's about people. So this is to kind of support you through that in addition to any training or support you're offered by your department. So very lovely to meet you, and we'll hope to see you on one of our training or courses lately.
Thank you. Lovely to see you all today. I'm Raj Mann, and I work on the Yorkshire Consortium for Equity in Doctoral Education, so YSEED, a bit of a mouthful. I'm a part of one of the projects, so I'm the project manager for the project that Matthias referred to earlier on today. So it's a consortium project with 5 Yorkshire universities. So that's us, Leeds, Sheffield, Sheffield Hallam and Bradford. And in a nutshell, and similarly to others, it could go on forever about YSEED, but it's a project to support ethnically minoritized UK home students in PGR study. So there's a whole a kind of early like widening access entry part to the project, but the bit that's the most relevant to you all is with regard to supporting current PGRs. So we have a whole host of things, including mentoring support. We have, and that's where you would actually get paired with a ethnically minoritized mentor, and we've actually developed our own in-house training for mentors so they can support you adequately, because we understand that PGRs from an ethnically minoritized background sometimes have additional or any requirements or have a different journey and different things to take consideration of. So we have lots of support there for you. We have events, so navigating your academic career or kind of PGR journey as an ethnic minority, so similar events to that. And we also have opportunities as well for PGRs who can attend conferences, to be involved in co-creating with us on our project as well. So we have some scholars board members who are current PGRs who actually work with us on our project and help support the delivery of it and essentially kind of keep us in check and make sure that we're doing what you want us to do as PGRs and that we're taking note of all of that. So we are a 4-year project and we're over halfway through now, but there's still lots of opportunity to get involved. And as I say, if there's anything else that you're kind of wanting or any additional support, then please do come and speak to me either at the end or, as the others have said, there's the slides where there's access to web pages, LinkedIn and other social media as well. So, but please do come and speak to me. In terms of the eligibility, it's for UK Home, but there are lots of other opportunities for international students as well. There's lots of webinars and sessions that we run that lots of people can access. So if you are interested and you're not sure if you're eligible, just come and speak to me. I'm happy to discuss this with you more. But yes, that's everything from me. There's, as I say, lots more on our web pages, but I'll keep it short and sweet because I know we're on a timer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raj. And thank you to all the representatives from the team. I think they deserve a big round of applause, don't you? Thank you. So everybody mentioned, and they mentioned it a few times, that you can come and speak to them at the end when we finish here, and there's going to be exhibition stalls outside this room, just on the flight of the stairs up. So please take this opportunity, and you have met all of them now. They're going to go and set up their stalls. They're going to have some merch to give away, so don't miss your chances, especially the 3D printed geese. So I would like to thank you for your attention so far. And who remembers what the homework is for this afternoon?
Look at the website.
Yay, well done. Absolutely perfect. That's right. So you will receive an email from YGRS tonight, or later on this afternoon, that will direct you to those slides. But remember, the blue slides are linked into that slide deck. So make sure you do have a little bit of a browse, explore what was said in those slides, and if there's anything worth signing up for, go for it. Okay, so now I would like to invite our 3 speakers for today. We've got 3 current PGRs, so people who have been where you are right now, and they have come through that journey and would like to share some tips and good advice on how it is to be getting started with your research degree. Please welcome Nicola, Tondi, and Minahil. Right, so to start with, I would like you, if you can please introduce yourself and say a couple of words about what it is that you do right now and what stage of your PhD you're at, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Tondi Siregar. I'm from Indonesia, and currently I'm in my final year in the Department of Archaeology.
Hello everyone, I'm Manahil Khan. I'm from a tiny state in Himalayas called Kashmir, and I'm in 3rd year of my PhD physics, and my research field is biophotonics.
Hi everyone, my name's Nicola O'Donnell, and last Friday handed in my thesis in health science. So, thank you. Still feel very bewildered and strange. And also started a research associate role at York last week, so it must be good. You're at a good place, so it's nice to speak to you today.
Perfect. Congratulations, Nicola. Right, so I thought I've got a couple of prompts for you, and as you know, I would like to ask you a few questions just to get us started. And on the purpose, why did you choose York for your research degree, and what helped motivate you through your research degree so far? Tondi.
Okay. Hi everyone. First of all, welcome to the University of York, and welcome back to those of you who continuing your study here at York. The reason why I chose York for my PhD is simply because, as you all know, that archaeology is one of the top departments in York, and we were back in 2020 top 20 in the world and top 5 in the UK. So mainly that's the reason why. And apart from that, we have our own campus in King's Manor in the city center. So if any of you who haven't been there, so please, at least you should go there once during your time, at least once during your time here at the uni. It's much more beautiful than our main campus, I believe. Yeah, apart from that, the uni given me partial scholarship as well for me to continue my study here. So yeah, that's mainly the reason why. And as a PhD student going abroad for the first time, coming from a third world country like Indonesia, it's a huge opportunity for me to be in York at one of the most prestigious education system in the UK. And my motivation mainly just my ambition, because in Indonesia we don't have much opportunities, especially in the heritage and archaeology sectors. So by being here is gonna enhance and boost my career a bit more. After this, I'll becoming a lecturer in Indonesia. So that helping me to make Indonesian education, especially in archaeology and heritage, much better than now. And other than that, I know PhD is really hard. I mean, if it's easy, then many people will do it, but we're just a small fraction in the world that be able to do it and brave enough to do PhD, right? So for me, having a good relationship with your supervisors, it's really important. Having a good communication with them is also really important, because for me, they are my first point of contact if there's anything happen. So little tips for me. So make sure that you have a good communication with your supervisors. Other than that, I joined a lot of communities, like Indonesian communities, to make me feel at home at York. And then I joined a sports club as well, like futsal club. So you can join any society. We have hundreds of societies, right? And sports club as well in York. So you can represent them and competing against other uni as well through this sports club. Other than that, if you feel stuck or something, or you don't understand about your method or something, well, you're not getting there yet, but you will, I believe. There's a lot of support that you can get from Dominique, from the BRIC team as well, like workshop and training as well. Like for me, I did the interview, how to do interview, how to do the surveys, how to do ethics and stuff. So I did the writing support as well. So you might need that. So make sure that you get all the support that you need, and all you can do is just ask them. And especially Dominic here, responsible for your journey here. I think that's all for me, guys. Thank you.
For me, why I chose York as a STEM student, I would be honest, because I had a funding and there was a wonderful professor in the university. That's a priority for most STEM students, or facilities are more important, and professors with good funding are more important for us. So what motivates me through my degree is mostly, well, I'm in third year, right? So motivation, I lost it maybe by the end of the first year. when your experiment starts to fail, it sort of disappears. So I try to keep my routine very consistent, and I try to make it in a way that I have some fun or pleasure activity after my work. So some days when I find it difficult to go to lab, I look forward to what's coming after that. So it sort of becomes a routine and sort of motivation, I'd say. Nicola, you want to add anything?
You can. I'll just go with what helped motivate me. I think, so my PhD was focused on developing a new psychological tool for a group of children who've had a type of cancer. And I think being really engaged with that group of people, so who hopefully my research will actually impact from the beginning, was really key in motivating me. And I was really lucky to work with some really specialist hospital sites across the country and abroad, and they were really generous in allowing me into their clinics, into their operating theatres. And I think, if applicable to your topic, I think getting really involved in the why and the who your research is going to impact will only serve to motivate you at those times, like you mentioned, that your motivation might be a little bit low. So yeah.
Thank you. In terms of planning, how can I effectively plan my research degree? I mean you guys. And how did you plan the key milestones in your research degree?
So I think it's primarily about knowing what works for you, so knowing how you work best, being flexible, and knowing that you're in charge of your time most of the time. I think it's really different, or it was for me anyway, to studying at undergraduate or master's level. You're not in lectures, you are generally working on your own time frame. So setting yourself small goals to achieve within that, but also knowing that you can be really flexible and fit life in around that, because like you've already mentioned, it is really important in the next 3 or more years that you do keep a life outside of your PhD, or you might go insane. And also, big tip that I was given, and I'm very grateful for, is write your thesis from the start. Don't leave it till the end. You can redraft it later.
I think I'll just add on to it a bit. Regarding the planning, I would start first, as you heard a lot about the activities in the university. When you come in the first year, you have loads of time to decide what kind of sport you want to do, what kind of clubs you want to join. Do prefer them joining in the beginning so that you know they are part of your routine, and when things get harder, you would know where to go. Second, I would more focus on deciding your study hours. Like if you figure them out from the beginning, 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 or 6 to 10, and stick to that routine even you don't have any work to do or you don't have any experiment to do. Sitting during those hours would make your routine consistent, and it would give you a kind of routine to your whole PhD, that what time you need to work and what time you have to have fun. And third one, also, I would recommend having different study spots. It's very important. When in the lab, you'll get frustrated. Sometimes you cannot pay attention in your study space, like office space. You need to find nice spots, and university has loads of them. Library has cute cubicles and quiet rooms. Your accommodation would have nice study spaces. Apart from that, you would find cafes all around the campus. Find spots where you can go when you're frustrated to sit down and study, when lab is not an option. More than that, most of the students move their towns and countries to be here. So it's really important to build your sports system. I know we take it for granted. We think, oh, it's going to be fine. We'll call home every day, and it's 4 hours or 5 hours the time difference. So keep that in mind and start to make your sports system in the space where you are, because physical contact is important. In-person meetings are important with friends. I would also like to add a bit on reading part. As she said, writing is important. I'll get to that maybe. But reading, when you read, you feel like, you're going to remember it forever. Trust me. 4 years, you won't. So it's very important to cite and write what you read as soon as you read it. There are loads of citing softwares at university, software center. Pick your favorite. Zotero is my favorite. So just start citing and writing about whatever you read as soon as you read it. And the last tip I would like to give is about journaling, and it's related to thesis writing as well. So start journaling your personal and professional both lives separately. And I would focus right now on professional more, though personal is important as well for your mental health. But professional one, always keep it. I like to have a Google Doc, so I can access it from my phone. I can access it from any computer if I log in with the email address. Keeping a journal from day one in a way that you write every single day with a date in 2 paragraphs, what you did yesterday, what are you planning to do today, and a to-do list. It would keep you accountable, and also 2 years later when you're stuck and your experiments are constantly failing, you would what did I do past 2 years? And you're gonna go and scroll through that journal and you'll feel better. And also sometimes, there's moments when you realize, this is missing, and maybe I should do that. So it's very necessary to keep a track, and later these journals will help you, as Nicola said, in thesis writing as well. So keep that as well. I would give it to Tony if he has to add anything.
Well, work in the way that works for you guys. I mean, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have 3-4 years ahead of you. So just enjoy the ride. I know it's a bit challenging, not a bit, but a lot of challenges, but it's doable, right? Yeah, okay. Other than that, for me, what keeps me in, because me and my supervisors had a talk in the beginning, like how we want to pursue this in the next 3 or 5 years. Some might have a supervision meeting like every 2-3 weeks, but for me personally, it's every 6 weeks, because you might get to relax and breathe a bit, but you don't forget, you're not forgetting that you're a PhD student as well. So 6 weeks for me and the supervision team, it's the best time that we can get. Like you can finish like half a chapter, I guess, or even a chapter for you guys, but make sure that you have that conversation in the beginning with your supervision team. What's best that you can do in the next 3 or 4 years, because you're gonna be with them along the way. So yeah, I think that's for me.
Thank you. Does anyone use anything like Google Calendar?
Yeah.
Use that. More than that, like I think Google Calendar, like having appointments and keeping your schedule ready is important with that. But also I would add with experiment, I know, I'm not sure how many students are here who are experimentalists, but please don't keep notebooks with pencils, acetone dew falls on that, and your experiments will be lost. So keep notebooks or notepads for your experiments and have a backup for that all the time, so that you know where to find your notes that you made in your lab or with your professor.
Thank you. Let's talk about people. How can we make connections with other researchers, and who has helped you over the course of your degree?
I think it's been mentioned a lot today about how important connection with other people is, and that's not always easy, especially at the beginning of starting something new. So I think, as many other people have said, starting with what the university is offering is a really good start. The reason that we three know each other is because we took part in a competition called 3-Minute Thesis, which is an exhilarating and scary experience. You stand and present your research in 3 minutes with a huge timer counting down in front of you. And so that's how we know each other, and is one example of one of the activities that you can take part in to make connections with other researchers. And what's great about both 3-Minute Thesis and other opportunities like that is that you meet researchers in completely different fields to your own. You can sometimes get a bit in a bubble of your own department and your own research, and it can be really interesting and refreshing to speak to other PhD students and researchers, see what they're doing and learn a bit about that too. So I think connecting with other researchers and other students in that way, but also using things like social media as well, whether that's Twitter or X, Instagram, LinkedIn. There's loads and loads of PhD accounts now, which I've found really helpful, both in connecting with other people and making some really good, now in real life, friendships as well. Because I think a PhD, like Tondi said, is not something that everyone does. So to connect with people who get what you're doing, rather than your friends and family who, like mine, are like, I don't understand what you do, is a really helpful thing. And on that, who's helped me over the course of my degree? I suppose having a really amazing supervisory team has been the most important thing, because whether personally or professionally, they've supported me through some really good but also challenging times in the last 3 years, but also keeping those connections outside of your PhD with friends and family. You don't need to be doing this 24/7 in order to hand in a thesis at the end.
I would like to add on Nicola's point of connecting within the campus and within PhD students is very important. So for that, GTA is also another important part where you can go teach undergrad students, and then you meet loads of other GTAs who are from different departments and teaching within that. You can meet other PhD students and share the experiences with them. Also the talks, there are loads of talks being arranged around different departments, and if you have time, you see like you don't have any work to do, it's okay to go to an irrelevant talk as well, which is not related to your field, because you never know, you would later end up needing them for something or take help or just be good friends. So I would appreciate doing that too.
Connection for me start from your office. I believe you guys have your own desk, or may not, but if you don't have, then you can ask for one. For me, I do have in a King's Manor, and we have like 50 PhDs from archaeology department. So I'll start from there, and then you can like join conferences. both internal and external conferences, or you can go to poster competition or something that you can meet other researchers from your field or related field or any other fields. So, yeah.
Are you part of any societies?
Yeah, I am. I'm in Indonesian societies, and I was the president of Indonesian societies as well. So, and then I'm joined the futsal club as well.
Outdoor society is really nice. It does some trips on the weekends and some big trips during the year, and it's very affordable. I would recommend that.
That's fine. And thank you very much. Last question for you guys would be one thing that you wish you'd known at the very beginning. So everybody is up.
I wish I'd known that I can ask more questions and no questions are stupid from the beginning. It would have helped me a lot during different sessions and summer schools.
I wish that I'd known that it will go really fast. When I started in 2021, 2024 sounded like a million years away. And at certain times, it did feel like it would take a long time. And there is points where you might be struggling with something or things might not be going to plan. But honestly, overall, it will go so quick. And I would encourage you to think right now, or maybe write down why you've chosen to do this, because I think, not in a negative way, but I think remembering that and why you have signed up for 3 years to commit to a particular project is going to be really important for you to come back to in those moments that might feel more challenging. Hopefully there won't be many, and I genuinely haven't had that many and have really enjoyed it, but I think you need to always come back to why and what's important to you. So that's what I would say.
Well, it's a tough question, but I wish I'd known that PhD is that hard. So, I mean, it is hard, but like I said, it's doable. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So I wish I'd known that you have your colleagues, you have your supervisors, you have all the team that's going to support you. I didn't know that at all at the beginning. So yeah, and be proud of yourself, because like I said, that you are the chosen one here. But yeah, I mean, just be proud of it. I mean, you can tell. Everyone will be shocked when you said that, oh, I'm a PhD student now, so yeah. So don't take it for granted, guys. So yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you very much. I think we are going to thank our speakers for today. Thank you very much, guys. Which brings us nicely to the very end of our session, the official part of it. And you know what we're going to do now? We are going to go and have some cake. Everybody who you saw today, they are all available in the atrium, so please go and speak to them. They're all friendly faces, and that includes our PGRs, so please go and ask them questions, whatever you want to know. Thank you very much for your attention.